The following program is a production of WLRN.
Welcome to Art Street. I'm Meredith Port, and we look forward to sharing some very interesting stories with you tonight.
How are you? How's the bright light of this whole event
Thank you so
and
much
everything
for coming.
else?
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here.
How could I be anything but amazed, happy, grateful, blessed that so many people have turned out for the Lotus House Women's Shelter.
So everything tonight is really to help the residents at Lotus House and to help future residents too.
Absolutely. And to raise our own awareness, raise our consciousness as a community about the unique needs of women who are homeless and the ways in which we can address those needs with compassion and wisdom and respect. We asked participating artists from around the country to join us in exploring the questions each of us must ask to bring an end to homelessness. What do we see with our hearts? What do we hear with our hearts? And how do we act from our hearts to end homelessness? So in every case, the artists have been asked to work with women from the shelter, to work with the audience, to explore their creativity, and to remind us that we are interconnected, that we are all one. And art is just an amazing vehicle for doing that, raising consciousness and uplifting all of us. Almost every cent of every dollar will go back to the shelter to provide meals and programming and support services. Well, in this area we have a number of performing artists. Baby B Strings is doing contemporary classical for us tonight. We have the Miami Poetry Depot for Poetry on Demand. We have the Minsky sisters doing a performance. They work with feathers and they create hearts that flutter. We have the Lotus House art director and women from the Lotus House doing a photo booth. Marina Rosenfeld from New York has joined us. She took recordings from the Lotus House choir called the Stray Cats Meow and created a record that she will spin tonight. We have Natasha Dewin working with her hands.
And I am working on a project that involves recycling old t-shirts from Lotus House into ropes, and I weave a tapestry and a dress out of these ropes. Later in the evening I will be wearing the dress and inviting the public to help me embellish it with these little flowers so that the work of art is completed by the public.
Augustina Woodgate, who worked with women from the shelter to disassemble discarded stuffed animals.
The girls from the shelter have been working on them for 2 weeks. With the history, it's like a full circle. So the bears came from the thrift store. The girls undid them all and took them apart in parts, which are laying down here, and kind of like a big puzzle, they started feeding them all together to create a rug. And this rug will be auctioned tonight. So that's basically the idea behind the piece.
Trajal Harrell performs all over the world, will do contemporary dance. Hema Alava, who's come from New York with threads from another shelter, a women's shelter in New York, then touched by the hands of women in our shelter to create a new work of art altogether. We have David Ellis doing graffiti painting, Roberto Lang doing a sound work, Antonia Wright doing a heart bed.
And my piece is called Once Upon a Time There Was a Living Bed, and it's inspired by the Lotus House and the theme of heart happening. It's a bed that has a heartbeat in the center. Visitors are invited to lay on the bed and put their heart to the beat of the bed and to feel like safe and home and feelings of security. Some of the women at the shelter have never had a place that they could call home or a bed, so this was supposed to be made for them. And then when you lay in the bed, I read you a children's story so that you have these like nice memories of home and comfort.
We have a heart workout. We have the TM sisters who are doing an interactive video work in the second warehouse. I mean, I don't want to forget Lee Walton either, who came from North Carolina. He's working with dancers from all over Miami We have laughing yoga in that room as well.
It's a very atypical auction. In this case, it's a themed event, and the themes are selected by Constance Margulies, and they're always very heartfelt and poignant, and they relate to her work with the women at Lotus House, and they select works from the heart. What you see here is work that relates to the particular cause, as opposed to other auctions that have work that they sort of relegate to donations. So these are personally selected, and I think that's what makes it so important and poignant and special. So this is a particularly special work to me. It was made by Ann Curry, who is an anchor at NBC News, and we all know and love her. And she's also an artist, and most people don't know that. And this is a photograph that she took. She's been documenting the people of Darfur for quite a while, and she selected it for Constance and Lotus House because for her it's a symbol of love and the fact that through adversity, because we all know that it's a very difficult time in Darfur, that there are beautiful things that are happening, and she's able to capture that with her camera.
We've covered a lot of art events over the last 8 years on Art Street. This has been a particularly inspiring evening. This has truly been art from the heart.